All right. Well, I'm back after a bit. I've done a lot of work, excuse me, behind the scenes on this, and try to catch you up. Get a little bit of this stuff off. I've got the guitar about ready with the bridge on. I had to do a really extensive repair. This part of the bridge here is really in much worse shape than I kind of hoped it would be, and it's okay. You know, we're gonna get it taken care of. And what you're gonna see here is I'm working to get, you know, a little bit, make it look a bit nicer. I think I've got that about lined out, so that I've just some cosmetic work to do to finish up there. But what I did on the guitar is I put this piece in. Remember, there were two pieces that were broken out, here and here. Put this piece in, and then because of some still low line areas, which I had to sand down, I put some material here to kind of bring it to grade, so that when I put the bridge on, we got to fit all the way across. And there's a spline underneath here, a piece of maple. And there's a spline underneath this one, a piece of maple. And this one, I put the piece back in after the maple was there, and it was still low. So I took two more pieces of maple here. I've got to sand them all down, get it nice and smooth, and then you kind of finish it up. Got a little bit of a high spot right here. So we're going to get this cleaned up today. This is the pin for the saddle. This is one of the plastic pins that was, you know, it was just a locator pin that was broken off in the bridge. The other one's covered over. You know, there's no consequence, and so it's no big deal. I'm not using them again because they were broken. And to go over and look at the bridge, I've had it underneath a clamp for a number of days now, and trying to straighten out a bit of a crook in it. When I lay this down, you know, it had a bit of a rocking action. It's got a little tiny bit now, but boy, not near like it did. And so what I wanted to do, because when I clamped this down here like that, I want to make sure that it's fitting properly, and that there's not a lot of rocking going on. And actually that fit feels pretty good. Now let me see, you may or may not be able to see, yeah, it actually looks pretty good. I think we're going to be real close to getting this just exactly how we want it. I think I'm going to have to fit just a touch of a piece of wood underneath here where it got real thin. And I had to do a lot of, I'm sorry, you probably can't see, I had to do a lot of sanding here. And I think I'm going to lay a strip of maple on this, or maybe even a strip of other hardwood, and lay a strip in here so that I get a good tight bind here. Because it's still up a little bit, and I don't like that. So once I get that done, now, if you remember, there were two screws here and here that went down in there, and that was what tore that wood out. You know, and they had twisted off when I tried to take the nut off, and I've got them, I saved them, but I was going to not put new screws back in, but because of the overall frailty of this top, what I decided to do was to completely drill out those two screws, because they were epoxied in. I could not get them out. And if you remember right, and this doesn't look great, but it's just because I haven't finished it. There were two little kind of silvery looking dots here, and they were covering those screws. I had to drill those out because they were epoxied in. And so what I did is I filled the entire hole with material, and I'm going to re-drill it and put new screws in. And then I'll just probably put a little wood cap on top. It'll be simpler But the goal is to get this guitar in very good playing condition, and if it's a function of not having little plastic silvery pieces on there, I don't think that's the end of the earth. That's for sure. They're really just decoration. And so I'm going to do that today. I got special drill bits that I bought to get this drilled out. I got the screws, I got the machine screws, and I got the nuts that go with them. And so what I'm going to do is I'll place this like this, make sure I have it just like I want it. I'm going to clamp it, and then I'm going to drill those two all the way through. Now that'll drill through the top, it'll drill through the top, and it'll drill through the splines that I have underneath. So now I've got a nice thickness of material for that to go to, and it'll have a nice washer underneath. It's a little bit mechanical, but remember, this guitar was built by engineers, and it is very mechanically put together. So I think I'm in tune with what the designers had in mind. My goal today, since I'm going to work on this the bulk of the day, is to get to that point where I can then glue this down. I can then glue this bridge, and once I glue it, I am really happy with what that's doing right there. Really happy. Once I get this bridge glued down, then it'll just have to sit for 24 hours, and at that point, it'll be ready to string on and see what happens. Now, may be a little bit of delay, because as I'm looking at this, and remember, I like to think about my order of operations, and this is just stuff over here, is that I think before I glue this down, I'm going to finish getting this done, because this is so much easier to do if this bridge isn't in the way. There's no big deal here. Remember, that's the hole for the pickup that goes through. No big deal there. That's just the way that works. But hopefully you'll see that it's looking pretty good, and you'll be excited that when it comes due. So that's kind of the catch up on it. I don't think there's anything else I've missed talking about. A lot of scraping and black super glue, and then probably even a little black lacquer in here. Generally trying to get this, when I get this all done and buffed and polished out, it's going to be a little warbly, because that's just unfortunately what it is. But cosmetically and look wise, everybody's going to say, wow, that's pretty cool. I've already taken and cleaned down the neck pretty well, the fretboard. I'll probably do a little more polishing on the frets. The frets have got a lot of wear on them, but I want you to play it first and look at it, and then we'll discuss whether or not it needs a fret job. But that's a project, because this is a bound neck. It's got binding on the neck up in here, all the way through, and so you really have to. It's a little bit more of a project to get the refret, and definitely not what we talked about initially. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera back off, because all you would see me doing for the next little bit is cleaning up this stuff here. Probably getting a little cleaning up this here, making sure it's all. What I do is I put a little straight edge on it, and make sure we got everything going just real pretty right across. And because I got to bring this down just a little bit, and when I do that, then I've got really, I'm pretty close. So that's exciting. Anyway, that's what we have, and hopefully, in a few more days, you're gonna have this thing back. Today's Wednesday. I'm off today. I have to work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I get a little time to work on it, and with real luck, I'd like to be able to get this back to you on Sunday. So I know you're not hearing this directly, but I just kind of letting you know that that was the plan I've been trying to stick to. So, alrighty, it's been a pleasure working on this thing, and hopefully when it's all done, you're really going to enjoy it. Thanks. We'll be back.